Hello grade 10s, welcome to Life Science grade 10 and I hope that you're ready for this. Today we're going to have a look at mitosis, right? And we're not going to go into the crux of the matter of what mitosis is and how it works and that. We're going to look where we use it, okay? Because as soon as you know where we use it, it becomes easier to understand it, right? So here we go. Let's have a look at what we have. When we start off our lessons, we always go through the main thing called terminology. Right? So the terminology that I've got for you today are the following words. We've got cells, we've got differentiation, that is a huge word and you're going to hear it all the time, right? Then you've got tissues, you've got organs, and you've got organ systems, right? And if I have a look at that, let's see, 2, 4, 5, I want you to tell me what you think those words mean. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes to get that right. Ready? Go. Okay, so now let's see. You have worked hard. I know you have. You've given me the right things. Let's go have a look in detail what they are. Okay, a lot of them are easy words, so let's have a look. First one, the cell. You learned this years ago. Well, let's see if we can get some color going to this thing. Okay, the cell, we learned it's the basic structure and function of biological unit of all known living organisms. In other words, if you're a living organism, you are made up of cells. Okay, while I'm there, remember you got biotic and abiotic. Okay, don't mean dead and living and non-living. It's strange. Remember biotic and abiotic. Biotic, this is everything that's biotic is made up of cells. Right, that's the first one to get it. The next one we're having a look at is that huge word that we started with, differentiation. Huge. And the first part of it, differ. To me, that's how I always remember it. It means different. Okay? Different. Differentiation. It means different. It means everything becomes different. So let's have a look. It's the process by which cells or parts of organisms change during the development to specific functions, to perform specific functions. Now what that means is, we're going to go through it, is when you've got this one thing, and as it gets older, it changes and it becomes different. Think about it. We are all humans, right? Every single one that's watching, well, I can't say everything, I'm sure your dogs or whoever are watching, and I don't mean your dogs at home, I mean, there's lots of things outside, the birds, the bees, you name it, and they're watching as well. And The nice thing about it is they started off as a small little thing. And as you grow up, you start changing. And one day, there's going to be doctors. And some of those guys are going to be lawyers. And some people are going to be, some ladies are going to be surgeons and all of that. So you all went in different ways, but you all started off in grade 1. Can you understand how this works? You start off in grade 1 and you branch out to become different. So you went through differentiation. Huh? How cool is that? Next one I want to have a look at. Tissues. Okay, now a lot of people get confused when we come to tissues, right? Because what actually happens is you have these cells. Remember, cells are the basic unit of life, okay? And these cells, when they join together, okay, and they look similar and they do a similar function, they create this big thing called a tissue. Now, it's not the things that you blow your nose in, right? It's human tissue or animal tissue or plant tissue, okay? It's like your skin. Okay, if I have a look at my skin over here, it's a tissue, okay? And all of these cells look similar and do similar function, okay? But we'll get to more detail as it comes through. So a tissue is a group of similar cells adapted for a particular function. In other words, they do a specific thing. Right, it's easy, it's simple. Okay, next one we're having a look at is organ. Now, an organ, this is cool. An organ, if you take these cells that have joined together with similar structure and function, and you have a lot of them, and you have this tissue, and it's joined with another type of tissue, and they all come together, you're going to get this thing that works, right? It's like a car, I suppose, and you've got the wheels, and you've got the doors, it becomes a car, right? It's an organ. Means it's one thing. And in the body, just think about it. If you've got this muscle tissue, let's just say use muscle tissue, and all the muscle tissue together forms an organ, and that organ is your heart. Can you understand? Your heart is a tissue. Okay, is an organ. It's made from muscle tissue. Can you see the difference? Made from muscle tissue became an organ. Okay, and then if you have a look here, it's a collection of different tissues which work together to perform the same function in an organism. Okay, that's what it does. All these different tissues together, they come together to make things work, to make it one specific thing. Okay, now it goes a little bit further. And if you have a look at, bring it down, organ system. Now, an organ system is when you've got a couple of organs together to form a specific thing. So, for example, we spoke about this tissue that makes your heart, right? Which the heart is an organ, am I right? And then you've got the blood vessels, you know, your veins and your arteries and all of those. The veins are specific things. Your arteries are specific things. Then you're going to look about lymph system, all of those funny things. We don't care about that at the moment. What I'm worried about is that your heart and your veins and your arteries, all of those, each one of those are different organs, but together they form a system, and that system is your circulatory system. Look at it. You get your esophagus, you get your stomach, you get your large intestines, small intestines. All of those are your digestive system, and each one of them is a specific organ, right? And if you have different organs together, or different systems together, you have an organism, you and me. How cool is that? See how it steps up one after the other. It's very, very important to know that. Okay, now, what I want you to do, if we have a look. The last time I saw you, I told you about two types of things, plants and animals, right? So what I want you to do, I've given you two things there on the screen. So have a good look at the screen, okay? I've given you tissue A and tissue B, and I've labeled them, tissue A and tissue B, okay? What I want you to do, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And I want you to try to tell me, if I move this down, I'm sure I've put it down here. What I want you to do is I want you to describe which tissue, belongs to a plant and which belongs to an animal. And I want you to give a reason for your choice. Okay, 3 minutes. You ready? Let's see what you've got. Go. Okay, so now that you've given you this time, I know you can tell the difference, but I'm going to go through it with you very, very slowly. These here, these little pictures are not just plant or animal cells. They are actually tissue. Hey, how cool is it? It's cells that have the similar function, right? Similar shape, the similar function, and they perform a whole big, they come together to create an organ, right? Can you remember that? Now, if you have a look at the screen, on the left-hand side, you saw this specific, and I'm actually going to use black here. We're having a look at this one here now, right? And if you have a good look, okay, you'll see this red thing in the middle here. Can you see them? Okay, there's one, and there's another one there, and there's another one there, and there's another one there. Can you see how thick they are, right? Then have a look. Can you see in between each one of these cells, it's dark. Look how dark it is. It's thick there, and it comes, and it's thick, and it's thick. Can you see it? Now, look on the other one. Look how thin this line actually is between them, okay? So all I'm doing is I'm looking at specific things. I've seen thick, I've seen regular. Okay, now, if I had a look at the two, the first one I'm going to have a look at is tissue A, okay? Tissue A, later on in the year, you are going to do plants and animal tissues, okay? And plants and animal tissues become so important because you are going to be able to see this slide that was in front of you, both A and B. You're going to have a look at them, and you're going to figure out that this slide, you're going to know every single type of cell that's here. You're going to be able to identify them. If you look on the other side, you're going to know exactly what that is. The minute I see this picture, I know where to find this, right? And so will you, okay? But at the moment, I don't care about the names. What I care about is if you identify which is animal, which is plant. Okay, let's have a look at it. Tissue A, it is got these hard structures. Can you see the dark parts that I was telling you about? Look how rigid it is. It's straight, across, up straight, across, down straight again. Can you see it? Okay, it's a rigid cell. If I have a look, it's an irregular cell. Can you see it? It's like round. They're fitting together. Okay, so the first one, tissue A, I know for a fact is definitely 100% a plant cell. Okay, and the reason why it's a plant cell is because it's got an irregular shape. It's got a regular shape with this thick cell wall around it. Can you see the cell wall? Okay, if you look at the animal cell, it's got a thin cell membrane. See the thin cell membrane over here compared to the thick cell wall over there. Could you see it? Okay, that is very important. You identify it immediately. Also, look how hard these structures are. You can see they've got these straight lines in them. Can you see it? Okay, it's got a straight line in it, and that shows you that it's an animal cell or a plant cell. Just for the record, so that you know and I know, the one that is the plant cell, that is the vascular bundle of a plant, which remember those words because you're going to learn about it later. And the one on the right-hand side, tissue B, is inside my cheek. It's called a cheek cell. Okay, that's a cheek scraping, and you might do this at school where you'll have a look at the two different cells under a microscope. It's quite cool. Trust me, it is a lot of fun, and I know you'll enjoy it. Okay, I know that you are dying there. I'm dying. We need a break. We need to just find it, go over your stuff, and as soon as you come back from the break, we will carry on. Welcome back. I know you are ready for this. We've had a bit of a break, so we've got all our energy back. We're ready for this, okay? These cells, they shouldn't scare you. Okay, I'm going to do this. One of the biggest things that we all forget about, okay, I'm going to have a look at a question now. One of the biggest things we forget about is that we come from a single cell. A single cell, okay? You and me. Mom had an egg cell, dad had a sperm cell. They got together, became one cell. Look at a plant. Plant had an egg, we had the pollen grain, the male gametes joined it, and we got a seed. And from that seed, you got this beautiful big tree. The baobab tree is one of the nice big famous ones, from a single cell. So what I've done here is I've put down a little question for you, okay? It says, this is a diagram of a leaf. You'll learn it off by heart, trust me. Look at the different types of tissue and say how they are different from the classic plant cell, okay? I want to know how they are different to the classic plant cell. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for that, You ready? Go. Now, before I did this, the first thing I always do is I go along and I draw, okay? I normally draw the cell that I'm used to seeing, okay? So just do that. It's a common cell. Goes like that, and we've got the one that goes on the inside. Sorry about how bad it is. To me, somehow drawing on this thing is so difficult. There we go. So we've got that part. So we've got here the cell wall. We've got this, the cell membrane. You happy with that? Okay. Then we normally have this large bag on the inside somewhere here. Okay. We've got a nucleus. This is the vacuole, by the way. You've got the nucleus over there. You have your organelles, which is your mitochondria or your chloroplast. I'm not going to label them, but I'm going to look round about like that. Okay. Now that's what we have. Look at the difference between them. Look at this one and look at this one. They look similar, but not the same. What about these little yellow round ones and the red and blue round ones? Do they look anything like what I drew? Okay, they don't. They don't ever look the way I do. So, have a good look at me. You must understand that we generalize in biology a lot. A lot. We generalize. If you generalize, we look at what the most looks like and we say they look around about that shape. Okay, now, if you have a look at this, we said it was a leaf. What color is a leaf? It's green. If it's green, it means it can photosynthesize. If it photosynthesizes, it means it's got chloroplasts. So most of these cells have chloroplasts, okay? We know it's got a vacuole because the vacuole helps with turgor pressure. All of them, if you have a look at this picture here, you'll see all of them have got this blue big thing over here. That's the vacuole roundabout. Okay? It's the same as the vacuole over there that I drew in here. It's a vacuole. Okay, cool. Then, they've all got cell walls. Okay? Here you don't see it as often because I separated, but they all have cell walls. Okay? They all have regular shapes. All of them have a regular shape, except for if we have a look at these round ones over here, which is quite cool. Okay? They still have cell walls. Now, that's what makes it so special, is that every single one of these, all of these things, have the same basic things. Okay? Now, if I had a look at it and I asked you, what are the basic things of, let's say, a car? Okay? You will say, it's got windows, it's got doors, it's got wheels, and it has an engine, right? You happy with that? Doors, windows, engine, and wheels. They're the 4 things, okay? All cars have that, but all cars look different. Can you understand? Okay, but all cars have windows, doors, wheels, and a motor. Here's the same thing. All of these have a cell wall, a cell membrane, a vacuole, and a nucleus. They're the main things. Okay, it has the same, but they look different because they need to do a specific thing. They have to do specific things. If they all look the same, they wouldn't be able to do their specific function. Right. Okay, let's see what else I have for you. This is cool. This is what I was waiting for. Differentiation. Can you remember differentiation? We spoke about it right in the beginning. The process whereby cells or part of an organism changes during development to serve a specific function. Look at this. Look at this. You might not know what this is, but I'm going to bring this down. Look how beautiful that actually is. Okay? We start from here. You can see the arrows moving from that direction to that direction. You can see it. Okay? But if you have a look at it, this part here is a single cell. Okay? And it moves from there to this specific organism over here. Now, this is the coolest part. This is where the first thing, can you remember the heading of this whole thing, right? Mitosis. Can you remember it? Okay? Now, mitosis is cell division. Now, cell division means you make, from one cell, you make another cell. And from those two, both of them make another cell. And you get lots of different cells. So you start off, if you have a look at this picture, you start off with a single cell down here at the bottom, right? And then what happens is that cell, you have a male and a female coming together, and they form this big cell over here, and it's fertilized. And what happens is this fertilized thing starts growing. In other words, making more cells. So from that single cell, they make more and more and more cells. And as you see, it gets bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden it starts changing. Look at this. Look how it starts changing its shape. In the beginning, that's what it looked like, and it started changing long and thin, and then all of a sudden we start going green, and look how the green changes. Look at that. All of these change, and what this is actually doing is it's going through the process called differentiation. Okay? It's the same as if you go outside and look at the trees, the beautiful trees, okay? The root cells are completely different to the stem cells, which are completely different to the leaf cells because they've got a specific function. Let's have a look at it. A leaf goes through photosynthesis. It gives the plant food. It makes the food for the plant, right? Then you've got the stem. This, if I'm looking at a tree, this stem, this big brown solid stem, okay, it's not green. Would it have chloroplasts in it? No, you'll be wasting your time. You don't have to put that there. A thick, big stemmed tree, right? Okay, now, inside there, you're going to have this hard wood-like structure. Okay, and I know it sounds funny, wood, but you're going to have the heart of the tree, which is solid stuff. The cells are dead inside there, and they've been filled with certain stuff, right, to make it hollow and solid, which is different to the leaves that are living and it's creating food. And then you go deeper. You go down into the roots, and the root cells are going to look different because they got to absorb water. Can you see how the root's absorbing water? The stem is holding the leaves up very nice and high to get the sun, right? And everything plays a specific role. And every cell looks different, okay? The problem is we came from one cell. If we come from one cell, how is that going to work, okay? The cells go through a process called differentiation. In other words, they're all the same, and as they're growing up, this part, these couple of cells here decide, we are going to do that job. And they start changing shape and form to do that job. And then from then on, they can't change their mind. They stick to it. I am a leaf cell. Okay, and that's what I do. Can you understand where I'm coming from? It's quite a nice one. Let's have a look at the next thing that I've got here. Okay, same thing. The only difference is this is from an animal. Now, have a look at that. I'm trying to get it as low as possible. Here we go. We've got an egg, as I said. There it is. And we've got a sperm cell. There it is. Okay, and they join together. And from there, when they join together, they become one cell. And that cell goes through mitosis, and it creates 2 cells. And then that cell goes through mitosis, creating 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And you get this big ball of cells. And once that big ball of cells is there, each cell decides, okay, I need to do something. Okay, so from that ball of cells, have a look. You've got loose connective tissue. Okay, I'm not going to explain what these things are, so don't stress. I'm just telling you that it changes because you're going to learn these things. Okay, here we go nerve cells. We're going to get blood cells. That's one that you guys know. You're going to get smooth muscle cells. Okay, I'm going to move this down a bit. You're going to get fat adipose tissue. Don't worry about it. It's fat cells. Okay, then you're going to get the intestinal cells, and if you have a look at them, they're different. I'm going to go through each one quickly now in a few seconds. You get striated muscle cells, and then you get bone cells. Now, if you have a good look at this, look at your bone cells, okay? They're completely different to your striated muscle cells. Can you see it? Okay? Your bone gives you structure, up and strong and straight, right? Your muscles make you move, okay? But now watch here. Here's striated muscles, and here is smooth muscles. Look at the difference between the striated muscles and the smooth muscles. Can you see it? Okay? The difference there is one I control and the one I don't. That means they've got to look different. They do different functions. One hangs onto your bones to make you move, and the other one makes you swallow things. So you don't have to think of swallowing when the food's here. It just goes down automatically. Can you understand what I'm saying? Okay, it's very important. If I have a look at the intestinal cells, okay, you see these little pink things that's coming up here. Can you see it? There, they're like little jagged edges. Can you see the jagged edges there? Okay, all those jagged edges are there for a reason. They are different types of cells. They're different to what they started with. It's very, very important to know this. Okay, and that is why you take so long to develop in a stomach. Keep saying stomach, in the womb, okay? It's why you take so long, because you start off with one cell, you become more and more cells, and then those cells go off and do their different jobs. Think about it like this. As I said in the beginning, you've got your first part where you are one cell, and that's when you're born, okay? And I'm trying to put it into ways that you'll understand. That's when you're born. And then you go through this educational system, which is your grade 1 to matric. And there you become lots of different cells, right? And then it's time to choose when you've left matric. You go through different jobs. Some people want to be doctors. Some people want to be scientists. Some people want to be accountants. And that is where you've chosen what you want. And then for the rest of your life, that is what you do. You have gone through differentiation. Very, very, very important, okay? And when they do that, they change their shapes. Some become hollow, okay? Some don't. Some give up their lives to protect the rest, okay? All of these cells are very important, and people forget about it, okay? This is the be-all. That's what makes everything different in your body. That's why you have a heart, why you have lungs, why you have nerves, why you have muscles, and all of these are different. Okay, now have a look at this. Look how different things are actually. Look at your blood cells. When you cut yourself, all those blood cells, you cut through your muscles to get to your blood cells. Okay, have a look at this one. Your nerve cells. Okay, your nerve cells are cool. They're like little bunch things like this. Okay, I'm just going to draw it like this. There, one more. And it comes down and it looks like this, and that's a cell. Comes all the way down. You'll learn about these things. But can you see how different they are to a normal round red blood cell? Okay? Or having a look at a muscle fiber that does that, and another one that comes there. Can you understand? They all work together. These are very, very important to understand. So before we go through mitosis and knowing how to make new ones or how to repair in that, we need to know exactly what's going on here. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a short break because I'm like dragging things now, okay? We need to make sure that you understand it. And when we get there, we're going to start going through a little bit more detail in plants and animals. Right, I'll see you straight after this break. You are all back with me. Let's see. Remember the last thing that we had a look at was your plant and animal cells, right? Let's have a look. I've always got a couple of questions for you. Okay, first one. Have a good look at this. Even before we look at the questions, have a look at what you have here. Don't tell anybody, just have a good look. It's always good to have a good look. Okay? Look at it carefully. Now, once I've shown you that, have a look at the questions I've got for you. Okay, first one. Look at the picture above and answer the questions that follow. There's the first thing I've given you. Huh? Clever. Next one. Are these plants or animal cells? Shown in the picture. Provide 3 reasons for your answer. Okay. Next one. How does this cell look different from the picture of the standard plant cell that you saw in the last lesson? Okay. And then lastly, why do you think the cells look different? Okay. So why do you think the cells look different? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and, there we go, bring that up a bit more so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to leave it like that. Hopefully you can see it, right? Leave it like that so you can see some of the slides, you can see some of the questions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I want you to think. I want you to think carefully. And let's see how good you are. You ready? Go. Right. You have given me everything. Let's see how good you actually are. I love doing this because it makes you always think, don't always think if you get something wrong that it's a bad thing. Okay? As long as you've learned from it. So at the end of this, if you didn't get the question right and you've learned, okay, next time they show me this, I will get it, then you are perfect. You've got somewhere. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, there we go. Once again, we have a good look at it. Okay, first question. It says, ooh. First thing it says, look at the picture above and give an answer to the following questions. First one, are these plants or animal cells? Come on. We all know that they are plant cells. Why are they plant cells? Firstly, they are green, the biggest one, green, and contain chloroplasts. Secondly, the cell walls and have rigid shape. Let's have a look at it. Where do I see cell walls? Can you see them? Let's have a look at it. I'm going to use black so that we can see what's going on. Have a look here. You see, in between here, those are two cell walls next to each other. Okay, have a look at that. There's rigid. Can you see how rigid shape this actually is? And straight up again. And straight down again. Can you see it's a rigid shape? And straight down again. There's your rigid shape. Very important to do that. The reason why they got rigid shape is to have support. Remember, it has no like bones or exoskeletons or anything like that. It needs the cell walls to be flexible. You can't do, I mean, look how my skin changes every time I touch it, okay? The reason for that is I haven't got cell walls. If I had cell walls, I'd feel like a tree. I wouldn't be able to move it. Can you understand? And then, of course, we said the cell walls. I mean, it's green, which means it's got chlorophyll in it. It's got chloroplast, which means it photosynthesizes, which means we know automatically that tissue there or those cells together there are from a plant cell. And the third one that I would look at, okay, would be, I'm going to draw it in here. Normally you'd find over here a big vacuole. Can you see how open it is? Okay, the vacuole, we haven't put it there because if we have a look at, they asked for 3 and here we only have 2. It doesn't matter. With that, you see a big vacuole. In a plant cell, you see a big vacuole. In an animal, you only see a small or they don't have one. Okay, let's remember that. Next question. How does this cell look different from the pictures of the standard plant cell that you saw the last lesson? Remember the standard cell? Square. Can you remember? Cell wall, cell membrane. Sorry, I've drawn it quite big. Remember, you get your vacuole, you get your nucleus, and you get your little organelles or whatever. Can you remember those, guys? Okay, let's have a look what they said here. Different shape and different sizes. Let's have a look. Can you see the shape? Shape's different. There's one. Look at this. Look how different that shape is compared to what we had of just a block. Can you see the shape? Very important that you know the difference in the shapes. Those shapes will give you exactly what you need. And then the last one, how does the cells look different? We said shape and size. Why do you think that the cells look different? These are simple. Remember I told you earlier. Okay, these cells form a tissue, and these tissue have a specialized function. Right, it's got a specialized function. And this specialized function has got to do with, think about it, photosynthesis. So this is going to be your leaf cells. Can you see it? Has to be your leaf cells. A lot of chloroplasts in there. It's very green. And it doesn't just have to be your leaves. It could be the stem, but then it's a green plant, right? It's got to be green. Very, very important. Okay, now, next set of questions I want to show you. If I have a look at it, there we go. Have a look at that. Here we go. Let me bring it down. Look at the picture above and answer the questions. Answer the questions. I'm not going to give you any more. Right. If we have a look at the cell, okay, it is strange. Now remember, I gave you a cell where it's one. It's got all those funny things out, right? Okay, have a look at it. And the questions are, how many different types of cells? Oh, no, don't do that. Let's go back there and get our pens going. That wasn't very clever of me. How many different types of cells do you see in the picture? Different types. Okay, think about it carefully. Is this a picture of an animal or a plant cell? Animal or a plant cell? Provide a reason for your answer. And how do these cells look different from the pictures of the last session? Okay, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Ready, steady, go. It's not as easy as you thought, is it? Hey, let's have a look at these questions quickly and these answers. Okay, I'm going to go in white here so we can actually see it. First one that you can see, there we go, this big cell over here. Can you see it? That big cell. There it is. Okay, that's one cell. The next one we have a look at is there's a different type of cell. Can you see it? It runs over there. It's a different type of cell. There's the nucleus. Can you see the nucleus? Okay, and then the third one, if you have a look here, look at this. Can you see it? It's running there. These little lines over there. It comes down over there. Okay? Now, I say to you, look carefully. Remember the other ones at the bottom? And if you have a look at that, it's your nerve cells and all of that. So, how many different types of cells do you see? I see 3. Hey? Simple. And it's because you need to look. I could actually see the big ones are the ones that you thought, okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You saw 5 of them. You got to look at the different ones. Okay. Is this picture an animal or a plant? It is an animal. It's an animal cell and it's got no cell walls, which means it is irregular in shape. These things are easy. Have a look, guys. Very easy. Okay. Then you've got the last one, the last question that we looked at. How do these cells look different to last week's? Irregular in shape and not all round. Let's have a look. Here we've got this normal round shape that we're having a look at. So here we go. There's the normal roundabout shape. Maybe I must get white. Roundabout shape over there, the white shape, right? The problem is that you've got this one over here, which was your irregular. Well, it's an regular shape, but it's not. It's an irregular shape because it's fitting in there. Have a look at this. If I had a look at that one, you've got one that does that, comes close like this. There's a nucleus in there, and it started branching out like this. Okay? And yes, it looks funny. It doesn't matter. But that whole cell there is very, very important. That cell there is most probably a nerve cell. And remember when I spoke to you earlier, I showed you those different cells where you had the striated muscle and your smooth muscle and you had your nerve cells. Can you remember that? And your adipose tissue and all of those. You had all of those cells. Those are cells and together they form your animal cells. So yes, they are different. And your normal cell that we normally look at is your round cell because you know what it's like? We make sure we look at the biggest picture. Right. It was so good to see you guys again. I'm sure I will see you soon. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.